Good inductions can save the organisation money as well as welcoming employees to the new company and helping them to be able to understand their new job and more about the company that they're going to be getting involved with. Although most organisations will have an induction programme, sometimes they've been in place for many, many years and it's time for a review of them to look at how some of the information could perhaps be updated and make sure that it's still relevant to the organisation and the sort of circumstances that they're operating in now. A really useful way to begin the induction process is to consider pre-induction, which is where new employees will receive information, maybe activities and some personal contact before they actually come to join the organisation. That can be really useful to them in terms of them feeling like they're involved in the organisation and help them to look forward to coming, because often it could be an anxious period in between leaving one job and joining another one. And because we know that up to 22% of new recruits leave within 6 months, it's important that we really get them engaged in the organisation as soon as possible. That can just include sending them some of the practical information about car parking, lunch breaks, but perhaps also introducing them to some of the colleagues that they'll be working with and giving them the opportunity to let you know about any sort of information that will be really useful to them on day one. And hopefully that makes the first day when they come a lot more comfortable for everybody involved. Although there will be some standard issues that will be in most induction programmes in terms of an introduction to the organisation, strategy and objectives, it is still worth remembering that they should be customised so that employees feel that everything that they're being told is relevant to them in some way and they can see the value and benefit of that information. It's really useful if they can spend time with the people in their department or team to find out exactly how they function, as well looking at the bigger picture of the organisation. Involving different people in the induction is also quite important because they get different insights into the organisation, but also it breaks the day up a little bit and enables them to get to know different people and makes settling in that little bit more easy. Although it's really important to look at things like organisational strategies and missions and objectives, it's also really crucial that it's in the sort of language that the employees will understand, but also that they can relate it to the role that they're carrying out so they can see how they fit into the bigger picture, and that will help them to engage much more and gain a much deeper understanding of what the organisation is trying to do. There may be some occasions where it would be appropriate to provide some additional induction support for certain groups of people who may have either been out of work for a period of time or have come from a very different background. So some examples would be new graduates who may not necessarily have worked in an organisation before, people returning after quite a long career break, or people coming from overseas that aren't necessarily as familiar with the culture of UK organisations, and spending a short period of time with them to explain some of the things that are most important to them could actually save a lot of time in the long run, and again make them feel much more welcome into the organisation. One of the dilemmas about induction training is when it should be delivered and how long, because there's lots and lots of important information that we want to cover, but we don't want to go into information overload whereby people receive so much information that they forget what the most important bits are. So depending on resources and the types of roles, it may be appropriate to deliver it in bite-sized training, so not all over the first 2 days, and spend the first couple of days really focusing on the important information, and then maybe over the period of weeks doing smaller 2-hour sessions or half-day sessions, looking at specific initiatives if they're important. Although the high-level stuff is important, it's really, we need to remember to think about those practical issues. So lunch breaks, holidays, what the arrangements for working time are, car parking, all of the things that might seem quite minor to those currently in the organisation, but may be source of anxiety for new people. So it just makes them feel that little bit more comfortable knowing exactly how the organisation operates, but also the important things about photocopiers and stationery, and just giving them some key contacts in the organisation so that if they do have any queries or problems, they know somebody that they can go and talk to get the answers for.